That's the lymphatic vessel. It's not vein, okay? Because they don't have any smooth. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is lymphatic vessel. And if we amplify it, sometimes we cut through the valve there, and you can see a little bit. That's a valve there. Okay, so we see something going out here. Okay, and this one we don't cut through the valve, and so you can see a little bit like that. Okay. So to turn the lymph flow is from small lymphatic capillary go to the larger lymphatic vessel, and the only one way because the valve there. And some special lymphatic vessel, lymphatic capillary, we call it lachia. It's located in small intestine. It absorbs not the sugar, not the amino acid, but lipid, or we call triglyceride. So actually, some part of the digestive system in abdomen, some lymphatic vessel is very oily because they transport lipids. Now we go back to this bigger lymphatic ducts, the duct. The number one is thoracic duct because it goes to the chest, or thoracic duct. Drainage area, that means they collect the fluid from what area? Is from the left upper part and the whole lower body. Of course, that include the left head, left neck, okay, and go to the left circulating vein, and then go to the superior vein cava. And from the chest, a little bit enlarged in below the diaphragm, we call cisterna chylic. Cisterna actually in a pool, okay, like swimming pool. Right lymphatic duct, it covers right upper part of the body, including the right hand, okay, and go to the right circulating vein, and then go to superior vena cava. They all go to superior vena cava. And go back, take one more look, okay. Right is a small one. It's a right lymphatic duct. They don't show detail in the chest. And finally, they make a curve and enter here. And the left from the lower part of the body and enlarge in here, they call cisterna chylic. And then go up, and then make a curve, okay, right after this internal jugular vein, and between the junction of this jugular vein and here at the end of left circulating vein, it go into here. Okay, so one go to right side, one go to left side, and then all go to the superior vena cava. And this human body also show you. This one they show you the yellow part here is thoracic duct, and here cisterna chylic, and nearby they show you this thoracic aorta. Okay, in this one we don't show you aorta, you cannot see this, and this one is side by side, and the other one next to it is axial vein. Okay, axial vein. Okay, now we go back here. Now we know this one, cisterna chylic. This part will include all the abdominal cavity, all the lower part of this pubic area, all the both legs. Okay, so all the fluid will enter here. Only one entrance, and then all this one all going up. Also collect only for the left side, the chest. Then we go ending here. Okay, and we have the lymphatic vessels surrounding the breast. They also every part will go through this part. Okay? Yeah. This one is in the breast area. It's not go directly to the cirrhotic duct, it's still going up. Okay. And right side, very similar. Everything from the right side will end up to here, right lymphatic duct, and go to the right synovial vein. Okay. And even the right neck, right head, the surface, our skin, our upper jaw, lower jaw, they all go to that area. All right, that's about the vessel. Now we go to the cell. In chapter 19, we know lymphocytes account for 20 to 30 or 40% of white blood cell. And actually, you have three types of lymphocyte. We have T lymphocyte or T cell, B lymphocyte or B cell. We have NK cell, it also lymphocyte. It stands for natural killer cell. This cell don't have the memory. Okay. T cell is dominate, is majority, account for 80% of all the lymphocytes. B cell 10 to 15, NK cell about 5 to 10%. Okay. And further we divide the T cell. Why we call T cell? Because it is a thymus dependent cell. You need to go to the thymus to get the hormone thymosin to become mature one. And it has three types: cytotoxic T cell, helper T cell, suppressor T cell. When they get the memory, they can stay for 20, 30 years called memory T cell. All right, all these three types will go detailed next point. Okay, helper T cell will be activated, starting response, and suppressor means it's negative feedback. If they have enough, they will suppress. Cytotoxic T cell, or sometimes we call cell mediated immunity, is the directly soldier to attack the pathogen. Okay? And B cell, why we say B cell, is always located in the bone marrow. Okay? And majorly is what? Produce antibody. Antibody mediated. And humora, that's the old term, and they produce antibody. And they can differentiate to the other particular cell called plasma cell. That is particular name, okay? And then antibody we call immunoglobulin, and we have 5 different types. And they also had a memory. Okay? NK cell, they had a lot of this large granule, and then we call it immunological surveillance, like the police. Just wake up every system. Now we go a little bit detail. Cytotoxic T cell attack when they get an infection by the virus. What we call cell mediated. Memory T cell, they can have a memory, and they can stay for 20, 30 years. Helper T cell is activate, stimulate both T cell and B cell. Suppressor T cell is negative feedback, and so sometimes we call regulatory T cell, and that would including either turn on or turn off. They are including helper T cell or suppressor T cell. And under the class microscope, we cannot tell what type of T cell is. Helper T cell, suppressor T cell, memory T cell, cytotoxic T cell, it look all the same. Okay. Even the B cell is lymphocyte, they all look the same. Even NK cell, they look all the same. So we don't need to distinguish what type of. I'll just give you one review. Lymphocyte look like here. They have a clear cytoplasm. Now, the growth of the lymphocyte we call lymphopoiesis, just like a red blood cell. They start from the bone marrow, start from the same stem cell, hemocytoblast, and go to the lymphoid stem cell. And they have 3 branches. Go to NK cell, B cell, or go to the T cell. But for the T cell, they need to migrate from bone marrow to thymus. and get a thymosin, or we call thymic hormone, and become mature one. And it looks like this. The bone marrow, original cell the same, hemocytoblast, and has 3 types. Go to the T lymphocyte, go to the B lymphocyte, go to the NK cell. Okay, B lymphocyte, NK cell, they can thoroughly mature and then send from bone marrow to the tissue. But this T cell, they need to migrate to thymus and get a thymosin and become mature one, and either return to the bone marrow or go to the circulation. Okay. Now I want to give you a memory, remind you for this hemocytoblast, as in my exam 1 test question. It's right here. And we're talking about lymphoid, is this part, okay? But this part, they put something simple. They only show one cell become lymphocytes. But actually 3 types. Actually 3 types. 1, 2, 3, right? Because T cell, B cell, and NK cell. Okay. And here they just show you one thing. For the T cell, they need to get a thymosin. And the other type of 4 white blood cell plus platelet and red blood cell, they all from the other subdivision. Okay, and so this lymphocyte is very special here. Okay, I think this figure is good to read it, to memorize it. Okay, it put something simple, just look like that way. So lymphocyte production, we call lymphopoiesis, just like erythrocyte. Majorly bone marrow is put majorly. Little bit thymus, a little bit peripheral lymphoid tissue, like lymph nodes, like tonsil. Now I summarize this one. It's one group of cells. They need to they stay in the bone marrow. And a group of cells, they need to migrate to thymus. For thymus, we will tell you later on. Now we move to the tissue. Lymphoid tissue only had this nodules and a tonsil, and the difference is they don't have fibrous capsule, very strong connective tissue. And the lymphoid organ, they covered by very strong capsule, connective tissue there. The organs only lymph nodes, thymus, and spleen, only 3 types. And soft tissue, we call lymphoid nodule, could be in the respiratory tract or the pathway, digestive system, or urinary system, actually reproductive system, all include. Tonsil, that's the other one from the nose and the mouth, will cover that. And sometimes we call MALT, mucosa-associated lymphoid tissue. Okay, so the soft part in all this tube, we call MALT, is mucosa-associated lymphoid tissue, including in the small intestine as aggregated lymphoid nodule, or we call Pear's patch, discovered by Dr. Pear. Or even appendix is part of this lymphoid tissue, soft. This one from I think it's small intestine, intestine, and show you this part here. The ideal figure look like this. We call aggregating lymphoid nodule or Pear's patch. And what's the function? You can send out cytotoxic T lymphocyte. The food in the lumen area a virus, it can attack it, okay, or any pathogen. And in the low part of large intestine, they had a lot of this one, nothing. And we can look at it from our slide. And here's epithelium cell. It's very close to epithelium cell, we call mucosa associated. And you can send out T lymphocyte. This one is in the lower part of small intestine, we call ileum. You have a large whole bunch of this. This one. We can send out T lymphocyte. Now we move to the tonsil thing. We have single one, and the end of the nasal cavity we call pharyngeal tonsil. We have a pair one, the end of oral cavity we call palatine tonsil. And behind the tongue we have the lingual tonsil, also a pair. It's a pair, and it's a single. Okay. And now let's see. I would like to go. I think I missed one slide. Tonsil. Okay, I'll give you later. Oh, maybe in the front. Oh, here. Pharyngeal tonsil, single one. Their name called adenoid tonsil. Palatine tonsil, lingual tonsil is here one, the right side and the left side. Okay, now I get it. Alright, so in the lab, you have to know this five tonsil location. And this pharyngeal tonsil take care of what? Airway. If air has some pathogen material or virus, it can send out lymphocyte. But only partially because we don't complete filter for all the air. So just by touch, okay. And the mouth also the same thing. Palatine tonsil, lingual tonsil, when food pass by, if it pathogen, if it bacterial virus, they can attack. But they only attack part of it because we swallow the food very quickly, and so that's partial defense, not complete. For the palatine tonsil, I have to say more. And in the young kids, sometimes they enlarge. During the sleep, they will block this airway, the trachea on the top here, the nasal cavity, and the young kids cannot get the air, and so the doctor will suggest what? Cut it out, take it out. Okay, when you cut this palatine tonsil, it's okay. You lost some immune ability, but not much. Okay. Now, if we take a look of this sagittal section, and you can find out where is the tonsil location. At the end of nasal cavity, you have pharyngeal tonsil. Okay, and the end of the mouth here we call soft palate, and that would be palatine tonsil. Now the palatine tonsil. At the end of the tongue, the base of the tongue, there's a lingual tonsil. Okay. On this part, we can go more detail in chapter 23. So you mentioned. Now we move to the organ. The first one is lymph nodes. Lymph nodes have outside cortex, inside medulla, and outside of the cortex has some capsule there we call trabecula. Okay, I'll give you one look here. Next one is lymph nodes. We can see the lymph nodes without microscope. Okay. We put this one, this entrance here, we call hilum. That's blood vessel and the lymphatic vessel move in and out. And usually in have more than from 5 to 8 probably. The in we call afferent vessel. Afferent lymphatic vessel, we put afferent vessel go in. The fluid send in. They all have valve. And move out we call efferent from A to E, okay, exit. Usually one, but sometimes we have two, okay. They always have valve. And so this lymph node acts as what? Like checkpoint, filter. And we always have artery in and the vein go out. And cortex square is outside, and medulla will be inside. So if you can see the blood vessel, that means you are in the medulla area. And borderline is not clear. not very clear. And we have shown capsule here, and capsule also have branches go in the middle of the lymph nodes. We call trabecula. Trabecula. This one is the old new version, and the old version is put it like that way, the same thing. Okay. Actually, I like this word. That's efferent coming from different resource, and efferent coming out. And this in and out area, including the nerve fiber, blood vessel, we call hilus, or called hilum. Okay. Now let's go back to the original one. So now we have an idea. Outside is capsule, and we have efferent vessel. Then they go to the subcapsular area. They had a lot of B cell. What does B cell mean? It's dendritic cell. That is kind of a special surveillance cell that will initiate immune response. They can detect some foreign cell or pathogen. And in the cortex, we had outer cortex, we had germinal center, we had deep cortex. Basically, they have every cell. They have B cell, T cell, all there. And in the center part there, they only have B cell, and differentiate to plasma cell. And some of them is a little bit darker, we call core, medullary core, and some a little bit light colored. And finally, they go out, we call efferent. Efferent usually have one. Okay? So we basically know this. Now we can take one more look here. This cortex. Cortex can have darker area or light area. And the light area they also call subcapsular space. Maybe I amplify it. Okay, that is the capsula. That's subcapsular area here, and the darker part here is the germinal center here, and this one is the cortex. Okay. And sometimes it looks like this. It's a nodule and a nodule there. Trabecula, you can see that. And medulla is in the center. And so maybe this one is better. You can see the cortex always has some nodule there, and they have dark color, light color. They all belong to cortex. Medulla also has dark color, light color. They all belong to medulla. And this one especially has two different vessels, different divided vessels. Let me finish this one and we take a break. Okay. The function of lymph nodes act as a filter, and it can provide the early warning system detected by dendritic cell any bacterial virus. It can produce small amount of antibody by B cell and the plasma cell. And some important lymph nodes, we have to know cervical lymph node, axillary lymph node, inguinal lymph node. This one, let me take a look at this. Three areas. One is axillary in this area. Okay, axillary lymph node. I put a marker here. One is cervical lymph node on the neck here. Sometimes you touch this one, a lower jaw, you can find it, especially if some infection or get a cold. And the other one is in the inguinal area, and is inguinal lymph nodes. Okay, and why these three areas had a lot of lymph nodes is because as a checkpoint. If we had infection from hand, from finger, and the bacterial virus try to get in our center body, and here the axillary will act as a checkpoint, and more red blood cell to defense and try to limit the pathogen in the local area. And if your toe has some, your leg has some infection, and there will defense in this inguinal area, prevent it go to the center part, and also the lower jaw here, prevent it go to the chest part here. And these three areas you have to know it in the lab, okay. And we also had a lot of different nodes in gut, in small intestine, and the trachea. we had a term called lymphadenopathic enlarge of the lymph node. Probably sometimes you know that. That's a sign of infection. Okay, and sometimes it's a part of cancer. If someone has some abdominal cancer or had a breast cancer, the nearby lymph node will enlarge. Lymph nodes serves a way station. It also the place for the migration of cancer cell, and it's good to affect some pathogen, but it has very low resistance. They cannot against some cancer. So how we use this special character is that the cancer spread usually not goes to the blood vessel because in the lymphatic vessel they get lower resistance, and our lymph nodes can kill a lot of bacterial virus, but we cannot cure the cancer. And so it also good indication if someone say, okay, in this area in the lower part of breast they had a breast cancer, and the doctor will know it's a local area or already spread to other tissue. They will check the lymph node a little bit above, and if outside far away they also had a cancer cell, then it already spread, maybe in the second stage or in the third stage. And so the good for the medical function is we can check the lymph node and know if cancer spread or not. But back the thing we don't want is the lymph node is not so strong. They cannot kill the cancer cell. Okay, yeah. But at least they provide a sign it's got infection. I take another break. Okay, and then